Will come to order. After the longest shutdown in history, the federal government has reopened. For 43 days, Americans lived with disruption and uncertainty. Essential food assistance was paused, paychecks for service members and federal workers were withheld, and air travel was delayed for safety. Both sides agree that the cost of health care is too high. But sending billions of dollars to insurance companies while premiums continue to rise and the deficit continues to grow is not the only solution. We need to address the root causes of the explosive increase in health care costs rather than mask them with unsustained spending. For 43 days, Republicans made the same offer to reopen the government, and we will negotiate. Today, we meet to discuss potential solutions. To our witnesses, thank you for your willingness to appear on such short notice to share your insights. Our healthcare system is broken. Obamacare failed to make healthcare more affordable. Premiums and out-of-pocket costs are rising for all Americans. On the individual market, the Obamacare subsidies, which do not expire, despite some of the confusing rhetoric, only mask year-over-year price increases. The temporary enhanced COVID-era credits, which my colleagues on the other side have twice set to expire, exacerbate these structural failures. Fraud has exploded and incentives to hold down premiums have evaporated. In fact, only 3 to 4 percentage points of the underlying premium increase confronting patients today is the result of the expiration of the enhanced COVID credits. Some will argue that time has run out to consider alternatives to extending the credits. I encourage my colleagues to avoid this conclusion and instead keep an open mind in search of a bipartisan outcome. We need both short-term and long-term solutions. In the short term, we cannot simply throw good money after bad policy. If we keep advancing a system that drives up premiums, we will make this problem even harder to solve. Instead, we should set the groundwork for giving Americans more control over their health care choices. Rather than accepting the current system of giving billions of taxpayer dollars to insurers, we should consider providing financial assistance directly to consumers through health savings accounts, which are now available on the Obamacare exchanges because of a provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Leveraging long-standing provisions in the tax code, like the medical expense deduction, could help patients further defray high out-of-pocket costs. To guide future policymaking, a commission at the CMS could evaluate and recommend options to further reduce costs for all Americans. We should fund cost-sharing reduction subsidies, which mitigate out-of-pocket costs for low-income enrollees, reduce premiums for all Obamacare plans by over 10%, and save taxpayers money. We should also enact PBM reform, which would realign incentives in the drug supply chain to lower patient costs at the pharmacy counter. Ranking Member Wyden and I intend to reintroduce the Senate Finance Committee's package, which we negotiated in the last Congress on a bipartisan basis, and we are going to do that shortly. We invite all members of this committee to join us as co-sponsors as we move this bill to the President's desk, hopefully soon, for his signature. The PBM process undertaken by this committee should serve as a model for other reforms. Healthcare integration can produce efficiencies, but too much consolidation can result in monopolistic powerhouses that block innovative disruptors, limit market competition, and constrain consumer choice. We must also seek to expand care access points to avoid costly treatment delays. Establishing long-term telehealth flexibility would allow patients to receive care in lower-cost settings. We should reform our clinician payment system to bolster the workforce, increase the reimbursement stability for independent practitioners, and allow a wider variety of providers to deliver services. Swift coverage of cutting-edge innovations and emphasis on preventive measures can reduce higher long-term costs. We cannot transform our broken healthcare system overnight, but this committee has a proven record of bipartisan success, and today's hearing is the first step in building the foundation for this reform. I again thank our witnesses, and I now turn to Ranking Member Wyden.